Like this style.
Oh, it's cute, but I prefer tight fitting.
Cause I don't want any. Cause I don't want to wear long like shoes with it. So
Mm,
I don't know. My mom dropped like $500 on Alia in Vietnam when I went, and she hates them.
she hates them.
Cause
She bought them.
no, it's because she was in the States, right, and I was in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So she like asked this girl to make them, but she was making like 20 Aoyais at
Mm.
one time. So she couldn't do it, but she didn't want to say anything. So she
Oh,
messed up all the Aoyais, and my grandma and my aunties were complaining so much.
but you guys still ended up paying her.
Well, I mean, we had no choice because we're leaving Vietnam.
She should have given you a discount. Hi, Van. I'll
Hi,
just
hello,
introduce you guys really quick. Jen, this is Van. Van, this is Jen.
hello.
Van is a student at SJSU. She's studying management, and Jen is a nursing major at Seattle Pacific University.
Wow, nice to meet you, Jen. Is that short for something?
Jennifer.
What was that?
Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer. Okay. I have a friend. Her name is Jenny. I didn't want to assume that was, short for Jenny. That's why I don't want to ask. But I think I had a friend in high school. Her name is also Jennifer.
Really?
Yes. And you're Vietnamese, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That friend that I had, she's also Vietnamese. But it's been a while. I haven't actually met her because since high school, so it's been a couple of years.
Uh-huh.
Are you currently in college?
Yeah, I'm in my first year of university.
So is that how you and Amy know each other? Like you guys are friends?
We know each other from kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So a long time.
A very long time ago.
I see. And you guys been hanging out with each other ever since?
Yeah, basically.
I don't think I still keep in touch with anyone from like uh, until now. Especially, I was born and raised in Vietnam. I moved here when I was 12, so that's really cool that you guys still keep in touch since then. Can you hear me clear?
Jen, I
If
mean,
anytime
Van, you're
I got
lagging
cut
a
off,
little
okay.
bit.
Oh, I just mentioned it. Now it's got laggy. Hello, hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was just saying that my Wi-Fi is a bit laggy around this time, just because there are other people in the house also using it. So just let me know if I got cut off or you cannot hear me anytime. Okay.
Okay.
I'll try my best to adjust it. But how's your? Can you hear me? Hello?
It's a
We
little
can hear you, but it's just a little bit laggy.
Can Jen? I don't think she can hear me because I think I've been talking, but I don't hear any response. Uh,
Let me ask her.
hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
hello.
Am I back now?
Yes, we can hear
Maybe
you.
my
Is it my Wi-Fi or your Wi-Fi?
I think let me see.
I can hear you. I just switched to a different Wi-Fi, so let me know if you can hear me. Or I think it's also her Wi-Fi because I think she got frozen now. Can Amy hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Jen's also frozen for me.
I think it's her Wi-Fi. I just switched my Wi-Fi to a different
Jen, are
one.
you back?
Is it good? I switched my Wi-Fi too.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
We good now?
You good?
I think we're good.
Okay. It's funny. my Wi-Fi start adding up first, and then it's your Wi-Fi because we taking turn. And the next person is gonna be Amy. um, yeah, but I was just asking, how's your day?
Oh, it was I went to mass and then we just ate as a family and then we came home. How about yours?
It was all right. I actually just celebrated my dad's birthday earlier
Really?
before I came to the meeting today,
Yeah.
and at work earlier. Wait, you mentioned that you went to mass, so like you and Amy go to the same church as well?
Yes.
That's really cool. Like, so you guys went to the same kindergarten and now going to the same church. That's really
Church.
cool. Wait, so you guys family know each other as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's really interesting. That's very cool. I have I would say if anybody that I still keep in touch with since kindergarten is my cousin, but she's in Vietnam. Because we grew up together. We live in the same like neighborhood, and she's my cousin. So we saw each
Yeah.
other every single day after school. I think if I didn't come to America, we would have still be good friends until now.
Okay.
But it's just because now we're in like different time zone and like different countries. We don't get to see each other every day. That's the reason why. But it's just really cool to imagine like having that friendship since kindergarten until now you guys are in college. You guys go to the same school for college?
We go to different schools.
So
Yeah.
do you guys get to see each other often?
We teach on Saturdays together, so that's when we get to see each other, and we try to make time out of the week to see each other.
Oh, I see. Wait, you guys teach? You mean at the where do you teach again? Ah, so it's only on weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Remind me again what you study now. Is it similar like Amy too?
Nursing.
Oh wow, you guys are similar in a lot of
Yeah.
different ways. I see. I'm curious. I used to study nursing, by the way, and I know Amy's also doing nursing. But is there like a specific reason why you study nursing?
I think as a kid at first, I did want to do something culinary, but as I got older, I think I wanted something a little bit more stable. And nursing was something that like I wanted to do, so I was like, maybe try studying it. So I think the start of 8th grade is when I like um physically went into a lot of nursing medical ideal stuff, and then from then on I've always pretty much wanted to do nursing.
Oh. Mm, but if you don't want to do something culinary, I think there are a lot of other options that you could pick. Let's say like IT, CS, arts, a lot other stuff, laws as well, right? But why specifically nursing?
I think I like the concept of helping people, and because my grandma, she's in and out the hospital a lot, so it's something that like is very close to my heart that I want to do. So half of it is because I want to do it as a passion, and the other half is because of my grandma.
I see. Okay. Um, wait, so right now, like, you live with your parents, and then do you live with anyone else in your house right now?
I live with my mom and my grandma.
So just your mom and your grandma.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how about your dad?
My dad, I haven't had contact with him for maybe 11 years, so I wouldn't know what he's doing right now. But yeah,
So you were just raised by your mom and your
my
grandma.
mom. Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
No, I'm the only child.
Oh, I see. So is how does it feel to be the only child? Is there a lot of expectation on you?
It's not bad because my mom, she really, at the end of the day, she wants me to be happy with what I'm doing. So she was never really strict on what I like want to do. It's just like every Vietnamese kid, be good in school, do good stuff, and basically like the basics.
Hmm. I see. I have an older brother. I'm the youngest, and my parents. I would consider myself a little bit more luckier. That my dad is still around, but my parents they divorced, and so growing up, yes, I have both parents, but I've seen a lot of fights, verbal and physical, from my parents before we moved to America and after that as well. And so I would say I don't have like a complete family, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it is complete because both of my parents are still around. So that's what I would consider myself as being a little bit luckier that I have
Mhm.
both parents growing up with me, being there for me, like financially, emotionally, mentally.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think it must be very tough and hard to be raised by only one parent, especially not in Vietnam, but in America,
Yeah.
because the living standard here is so much expensive,
It's very
much more expensive. Yeah. Oh, wait, were you born here
I
in
was born
Seattle?
and raised here, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Do you understand or speak any Vietnamese?
Vietnamese is my first language. So, and my grandma, she only speaks Viet, and my mom also only speaks Vietnamese. So I speak a lot of Vietnamese.
Oh, em bao nhiêu tuổi rồi?
Bây giờ em mới 19 tuổi ạ.
Oh, okay. You're Vietnamese, similar like Amy's, and I think you guys are both very good at Vietnamese. Yeah, she was playing a lot of Vietnam house when she came to California with me. I'm not sure if you like the same kind of music, but yeah, I think you're Vietnamese solid. Do you write too and
My
read, or you only
reading could
speak?
be better, but my writing is okay.
Okay. I think whenever people, especially Vietnamese people, when they say I'm okay at something, that means they're excellent at it. We just taught to be humble. I see. But wow. That was I was kind of thinking too, especially if you grow up with like immigrant mom, like your mom immigrated here,
Mhm.
yeah? Yeah, if you grew up with immigrant parents, you definitely have to be decent in Vietnamese so that you can be the translator for them.
Yeah.
Because that's me growing up. I think that's kind of in a way, it made me learn English because if not, then nobody else would be the translator for the family. Yeah, which I think in a way it turned out to be a good thing because now both of us are bilingual.
Yeah.
Not maybe not by choice, but turned out to be a good
Good.
benefit. Yeah, but wow. So are you working now, or is just going to school at the
I
moment?
used to work, and then my mom's partner was the business owner of the restaurant, but then he changed ownership, so I didn't really want to work there anymore. So from February of last year, I stopped working. So I'm focusing on school right now.
Okay, so right now it's just your mom, the only person that working and support the whole family.
Yeah.
What does she do for work?
She works at a private mailing company for DCG1. Yeah.
Oh, so she's like what does she do there? Like, do you know
She
exactly? I'm
like
just curious.
packs mail and she like ships it out and stuff, but it's like so many Vietnamese people there, so it's a very close community to her. So she just like talks with them and stuff and like packs mail and stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Um, that's cool. I really have a lot of respect for your mom because I know it's very tough to um just come to America as an immigrant and just having to adapt into a new country, a new language, a new culture, and not only that, raising a kid all by herself. And is your grandma working or no? Not at all.
She retired maybe 20, 30 years ago. Yeah.
How old's your grandma?
She is turning 80 this year, I think.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Wow. But like I was saying, I have a lot of respect for your mom because raising a kid is not easy, by herself. And on top of that, she's also taking care of her mom. So it must be very hard. But yeah, I think, hopefully, I think you're doing the right thing. Study hard in school and also taking care or at least, working on your future as well. I assume that's the reason why you're here. Maybe you can share a little bit more because I think I'm not sure how Amy introduced me to you or this whole Zoom tonight to you. But if you study nursing, you probably know that I right now I don't do nursing anymore.
Mhm.
I actually do business management for school, and I work in sales and marketing in a moment. But I think beside all of it, something I'm way more excited to talk about is running my own business. And so I think you know that part, right? And so very curious. What make a nursing student wants to be here tonight, hearing about business?
The funny thing is, although nursing was always a passion for me, I think when I grew up a little bit, and ever since I turned 19, I was like, do I see myself in like a setting for 20 or 12 hours a day working like schedule to schedule to schedule with a lot of like intense work, making not as much money to support, because my mom is a single mom, and I do want her to like have that stability in life where she can do whatever she pleases, because she like immigrated here, um a single parent and stuff. So I think that if I don't see myself in nursing, I do want something more stable that I like doing. So business was a good thing, or that I ever thought of, because it's I guess you can work at your own schedule, time, place, and stuff. And I did talk about it with my aunt. She used to own a nail salon, also in I think Oklahoma, Omaha. I mean, and
Oh.
then she became a medical management insurer. And we talked about it, and she did say that she very much liked working on her own schedule, and that she wished she could go back to it. And it just made me also realize, like, you can change your whole life, your whole perspective of everything, but you always, seem to see new things that you want to do. And I guess that's what pulled me into this.
Mm, okay. Have you ever thought about? You say your mom used to own a business, right?
My aunt,
Oh, your own.
yeah.
Oh, so is that like in a way like that become an inspiration for you to own your own business, or have you actually thought about owning a business before?
I thought about it in grade school, and seeing that my mom's partner did it and my aunt did it, it kind of because before he owned his own business, he was a pharmacist actually, and I guess he had the same mental with could he see himself in like office for so long. It also made me realize, do I want to be in the same atmosphere for so long? So it just kind of like inspired me in a way.
I see. Wait, so then why you chose nursing in the beginning? Because I remember you say you wanted to do something that could impact people,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you also want to open business. So I'm just trying to understand the connection here. So yeah.
It's like a very, because as a kid I was never really consistent with what I wanted to do. It was very
Mm,
much see what I liked and try it out. So as a kid, like maybe open up my own cafe or open up my own like clothing business or whatever. And then as I grew older, I kind of was like, I think I want something. It's very different because I always jump around from things, but I think
mm,
nursing was always the only route, or the strongest route I want to go to, because of my grandma. And then maybe a year or two ago, when I was actually in nursing school and doing like prereqs for it, it made me realize, like, I don't know if I like it, or if I see myself in the future doing this for so long.
mm, I see. But what about nursing that um make you kind of question it, that you don't want to do it in the long run?
The environment is very harsh mentally and physically. And from like most recent like news and stuff, it's very harsh, and people ask a lot for you,
Mm,
and it's just very mentally draining and depleting. So I was just on the fence of it,
mm,
but it's something that I still have a strong passion for, but I don't know if it's as strong as I would compare it like maybe 2 3 years ago.
gotcha. Okay. So now business is sort of like something that could be potentially a backup plan just in case nursing is not
Yeah.
the priority anymore. I hear you, and I think when you said you were not somebody who would be consistent with what you want to do, I think it's not just you, and it's not a unique problem. I think it's like a universal problem for all Gen Z. Because imagine at 17, 18, how would we know what we want to do for the rest of our life? Thinking about it for a second, because the only examples that we have in front of our eyes is just our family. Like you mentioned, you get inspired by your aunt or your mom's partner. So it's you have very limited reference points as of what you want to do, because that's the only things that you could see, right? Maybe your relatives, maybe your relatives' friends, like a friend of a friend. So it's not like we are given a lot of options growing up, and that's why I hear a lot of people they say. And you can ask your friends, and this is what you hear the most from them when someone said, "Oh, I want to go into CS. I want to be an engineer." Try now is because my dad is an engineer, and I saw him make good income, or maybe my dad or my mom is a CPA, an accountant, and I want to do the same thing. Or then some people they say, well, because my mom is a nurse or my aunt is a nurse, and I kind of have some connection later on when I apply, so that's why I want to be a nurse. So very often time the reason why people pick a career or a major, it is because they got influenced by the environment around them, the family. And so, for me, I back then the reason why I chose nursing wasn't really because of my family. I did the process of elimination like you. I was like, I don't really like the other STEM subject that much, like physics, chem. I'm okay with them. I don't see myself working in any of those uh, fields. And then I was like, I'm good with math, but I'm not gonna sit there in front of a computer doing like tax and doing with working with numbers the whole day. That's not me. And so and I was like, biology, I'm pretty cool with it. I like learning about the human bodies and the human minds, and I know healthcare makes money. If anything, I think if you're living in an Asian household, everybody would tell you go into healthcare medical. That's where you make money.
Yeah.
And so I was like, if it makes me money, and I actually enjoy learning it, and I like taking care of people, just like you. I was like, okay, I'll do it. Doctor is a lot of studying, and it's a lot of money as well. So I was like, nursing is cool. And so that's why I ended up with nursing. I'm not sure if you ever heard about or know UC Davis, the university here in California. I think it's the equivalent of like UW in Seattle. So I got a full ride scholarship there because of my GPA. That's the only thing that I ever focused on back then, which is school. So I always get 4.0 GPA. I took a bunch of college classes in high school, like the Running Star program for you guys. So I ended up with a full ride scholarship to Davis. And this is my turning point. Similar like you, in my first year in college, I'm not sure if you've ever worked like in the field before, like in the hospital or anything like related to nursing.
Not yet. Or I've been like shadowing and stuff, but never like physically worked as like an MA or like an MPA.
Gotcha. So what I did in my first year, unlike a lot of other college students, is I know right now people they wait for their third or fourth year to start apply for internship. But for me, I just knew that yes, nursing is good, and all my family they supported me doing nursing. But then in the back of my mind, I asked myself, like I understand everyone wants the best for me, but do they really know what best for me? Because the people who told me to go into nursing, none of them works as a nurse themselves. The only person who did nursing back then was my cousin, but she quit to start her own nail salon. So I asked myself, is it really, making sense for me to listen to them? Because I'm not going to commit the next 40, 50 years of my life. Think about that. If you were to get into nursing and you work as a nurse for the rest of your life until you're 65, the retirement age is going to be 40 years. I was like, there's no way I'm doing something for the rest of my life without having the hands-on experience. So I try different things. I shadow RN, like as the CNA. I just did not get certified, but I did exactly what a CNA would do. I worked in a hospital. I worked with patients. There was a time where I worked with older people with Alzheimer's, and then I worked with little kids with autism, the ABA program. Not sure if you've ever heard about it. And then I also worked in a lab research as a PhD student assistant. So, doing microscopic things, translating RNA, DNA, those kind of things. So I put my hands in different things within healthcare because I knew nursing or healthcare is a broad field. And so I just wanted to see which one I really like and wanted to do for, that that next period of, or the rest of my life, technically. And that's when I realized this is one of the biggest realization in my life at 19 years old. You're 19 right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was your age. That's when I realized that actually I didn't hate anything I was doing at the time, what I was telling you. But if anybody asked me, hey Van, do you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life? The answer has always been no for me. Like, yes, I could do this for 10, 15 hours a week for a couple months, like an internship. But if you ask me doing this for a 12-hour shift for 50, 60 hours a week, 50 weeks a year for the next 40 years, living the same day basically for, 4 or 5 decades, then heck no. I think the biggest reason is I came here as an immigrant at 12 years old, and America was promoted for me as the land of freedom, land of opportunities. So I didn't like the idea of being settled out and, doing the same thing all over again. Especially I grew up, I didn't really have time with my parents. We were like the sun and the moon. I went to school back then from, let's say, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that's the time that my parents stay at home because they work, night shifts. So they would work from 3 p.m. until 11 p.m. And when they went home, I already sleep. So we would only meet when eclipse happens, which is one of our birthdays. That's when we meet. And so for me, like I was very big on making money because I knew that's how I would be able to take care of my family. But at the same time, I wanted to have that time with them as well. And so that's when I realized another thing besides nursing isn't for me is that now it doesn't matter what major I study. At the end of the day, I will still have somebody who decides how my 24-hour would look like. Because if you worked before, have you ever worked like an actual job before?
Yeah.
You did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So even as a part-timer, you probably know people give you a schedule and they decide when you get your lunch break. They decide when your off day. And so I didn't like that. And I knew that I could, be a CPA. I could be a biologist. I could be a doctor. I could be a physician. I could be an engineer. I could be a lawyer. I could make 60, 70K a year. I could make six-figure income. I could make a lot of money if I wanted to. But at the end of the day, I don't get to decide my 24 hours. I will only get told when to eat lunch, when to see my family. And I just didn't like that. So that's when I started to feel a little bit like weird because I didn't have no backup plan. Don't get me wrong. I didn't have no plan B, plan C, plan A point two. The only thing I had in my mind when I started college was nursing. But so that's why I think like you right now, I started to be a little bit more open-minded. So I started to talk to people outside of my major, outside of nursing and biology. I talked to people in CS, engineering, all kinds of different fields because I was like, there has to be somebody who feels like me and maybe they know something or they know someone who knows something. So I started going to a bunch of different networking events, trying to make connection. And eventually, I think God heard my prayer. Because through one of those events I went to, there was this one success workshop, career guidance workshop. And I heard a story of the speaker. He was talking about his mentor. And turned out years later, now that person is my mentor. But back then, I didn't know who he was. I just knew this guy is a super successful entrepreneur who started his own business at a super young age, 19 years old, the age that I started mine, because that's when I met him. But he was just like me, a regular broke college student going to school full time. And at the time, he was working full time as well, 60 hours a week to support himself because his family is so broke. They could not afford to pay for his tuition or his expense. So 9 to 5 was full time school. full-time work for the guy, for my mentor. But from 5 to 9, unlike other kids his age, you name it, partying, going on days, Netflix and chill, shopping, boba, raves, party, whatever it is. Think about it. He wasn't doing none of that. He was spending his 5 to 9 on himself, reading books, listening to audio to develop his mindset, uh, and also associating with people ahead of him, learn from people who've been there, done that, and try to put together a business that did not require him to quit what he was doing, which is school. And so constantly in that, grinding and hustling mode for about 2, 3 years. At 22, he quit his full-time job because now the business income, it was more than the full-time income from his job. And you can call it being financially free at that point. And for me, when I heard that, I was like what the heck? Because 22 is the age that I would get out of college, I get my degree, I start working full time. But there's somebody out there who get out from the workforce at 22. And that part just impressed me. But the part that really got me thinking about entrepreneurship is later on, about 3 years later, at 25, my mentor, he retired his mom. She was only 45 years old at the time. And 2 years after that, 27 years old, he retired his dad. And so when I heard that part, I don't know how you think, but at a time, I was just frozen because I knew I have cousins, I have relatives in America who make a lot of money. They drive Tesla, they have Cadillac, they have a nice house on the hill, they wear like brand name shoes and clothes, but they ain't got something called being a full-time kid or making their parents become a full-time dad and a full-time mom. So when I heard that, I was just like, I honestly don't know what this person is doing. As long as it's legal, it's ethical, I want to learn that because I want to have what he has. And so the rest of the story is just pretty much how I really work on myself, work my way up to earn that trust from my mentor, and be able to work alongside him. And looking back now, it's been about 3 years. Ever since I got the chance to, meet my mentor, Miss Phil, and be able to be his mentee. And so I'm not at the point where I will be financially free like my mentor yet. I still gotta go to work, but because of his mentorship and his guidance, I'm very proud and confident to say that I'm on track to be able to retire my mom in the next 2, 3 years, and after that's gonna be myself, not having to go to work anymore. But yes, and I think that's also the reason why we have this meeting today, because I'm actively expanding my business and I'm looking to work and coach a few people, not necessarily, I guess, have experience or skill for entrepreneurship or leadership or anything, but more like people with an open mind to learn, as well as, I would say, they want to have more than what they're already having at the moment. Uh, yeah, but I'm just curious. I have this one question to ask, and it has something to do with business, matter of fact. And this is actually the first question that my mentor asked me when I got the chance to sit down with him. I was surprised, but he asked me this, and I want to ask the same thing to you, which is, have you maybe ever thought about maybe in the next 5, 10 years, how do you see yourself living? Like, what kind of lifestyle do you want?
I think I do want a comfortable life where I don't have to like work from like paycheck to paycheck worrying about will I pay this in time or will I pay that in time, or what will my mom be doing, how will her health be, or how will my grandma's health be. And I just sit down and think, I was like, if they basically grew me up from the bottom up, what can I do for myself to help them do the same thing? So as much as I want myself to live comfortably, I think I also want them to live a comfortable life too, where they don't have to worry about all that stuff, because they're getting to an age that, it's physically demanding, especially with work and stuff, trying to live in an environment where everything is going up, where recession is becoming a thing, or where a lot of stuff are getting inflated. So I think around that mentality, I think it just pinpoints to like the comfortable life of it, or like what I can do to better myself and to better my own family.
Okay. Um, you say you want to have a comfortable life and be able to take care of them. How do you want to take care of your family?
I think try to relieve their stress a lot more. Maybe take them trips back home because my grandma she loves Vietnam. She was born and raised in Binh Hoa, so she knows that that's where she calls home. But with everything going on there, I think America's a lot better, especially with there our healthcare and stuff compared to Vietnam. And I guess that I want her to go back whenever she wants or do whatever she wants until before she gets to an age where she like physically can't. Because I think I was always very family oriented. So I think I just want to do something that I wouldn't say always give back, but definitely something that would make their life a little bit easier and more enjoyable while like we have what we have.
I see. Um, I have some. I think I know some people who also from Binh Hoa. Have you guys ever been back?
I went back last year for the first time in maybe 8 years. And then my grandma wants to go back in 2 years for my her mom's death anniversary of 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So she yeah, we've always tried to go back, but it's very expensive now.
I see. It is expensive
Yeah.
to go anywhere, not just Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last time my family got back to Vietnam, or my mom and my dad, was 2018. It's a long time ago. Yeah, but let me show you this photo really quick, okay? I think it will help you, I guess, think about the question I asked you a little bit easier.
Mhm.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
So if you look at the left of the screen, or the right, yeah, for it's your left, my right. But if you look at this photo right here, the Wheel of Life, not sure if you've seen something like this before, but I think when I asked you the question of how you see yourself living, the lifestyle that you want, these are the things that I mean. And if you look at this, there are different components when it comes to something we consider life. Not just money, right? Not just family is one of it. But let's say now, if you were to pick the top three most important values for you, the things that you cannot live without, what would those three areas be if you were to pick them?
I think personal growth, family, and relationships.
I saw some people, they took a long time with this because it's hard to pick only three, right? I want to know all of them. But for you, it's family, it's personal growth and relationship. Okay. Let's talk about each one of these things a little bit. I think for me, family is also one of my biggest core values. Everything that I've done, I'm doing, and will do is definitely for them. And this word, I think, is a broad word because when we say family, it's our current family, the people who give birth to us, who brought us to life until this point. And then there's also the future family, the people that we're gonna build a family with, right? Our kids, our life partner. And back then, I didn't really think much about how I would give back or take care of my family. I was just thinking simple that I will be a nurse. I'll make a lot of money to be able to provide for my mom. I will take her, same thing like you. I want to sponsor her trip back to Vietnam once a year. I want to be able to take her out to eat, at a fancy restaurant maybe once every week, and then be able to buy things for her without looking at the price tag. So that was my thought process until I met my mentor, and and that's when he showed me that. He told me, "Hey, Van, I wanted to do the same thing like you. I also want to take my mom to travel, but guess what? I never just send her money to travel alone. I always go with her. because
Mhm.
I got something called a box. I can go anytime, and we
Mhm.
don't have to travel by a two route trip because we stay for however long we want to.
Mhm.
And when we go to eat, I don't just wait until the weekend when both of us don't have work. I can go on a Tuesday afternoon with my mom to go eat if I want to.
Mhm.
And another cool thing is we never have to look at the menu from right to left. We don't have to check out the price before the food. I let my mom order what the heck she wants.
Mhm.
And similar like you, I want to make her proud. But not I don't just make her proud by making her feel good for one day when I graduate from college, from a big university. I make her proud by putting her in a coliseum of thousands of people in the front row watching me on stage impacting lives.
Mhm.
And I make her proud by not just pleasing her for, you know, a day, seeing me cross the stage, but also taking care of her future. And so when I hear those things, I was like stunned because I never really thought about taking care of my family in that way, in,
Mhm.
that detailed. And then my mentor asked me back, he's like, Van, you say you want to take care of them. Then do you know how much your parents make? And I
Mhm.
got frozen the second time because I didn't know. I never really had that conversation with my parents. And then he told me, but isn't that true that if you want to take care of them, you need to know how much they make? You will make the same amount on top of your own expenses so that you can tell them, hey, mom and dad, you can stay home. I got this. That's what retiring our parents technically mean. We
Mhm.
got to cover for the income, right? And so that's when I was like, yeah, right. But then he's like, if you don't know how much they make, you don't. So how can you know which career choice is a good option? What
Mhm.
if your passion, your dream job, don't make enough income for that? How can you take care of them? And another question is, if you want to travel with them, how would you want to travel with them? Do you want to just send money for them to travel on their own, or do you want to travel together? Because if you want to be there, how can you do it if you have a job?
Mhm.
And I was like, you're right. I didn't really think about it that far.
Mhm.
And then, speaking of the future family, and honestly, speaking with you at a time when I met my mentor, I was 19, I was like you. I'm not sure if you're like in a relationship right now. It's just me back then because I saw my parents divorce.
Mhm.
I was like traumatized by commitment. I was traumatized by, just being with somebody and getting married because in my head, if these two people been together for like decades,
Mhm.
more than half their life, and they have kids and everything, but they still decide to part way, then who's gonna guarantee that I'll be happy, or have something called a happy ever after? So I was scared of, getting into something serious. And then my mentor, he showed me, he said, well, you don't have to think about marriage now since you're so young or thinking about having kids or anything. But if you look around your friends, you see the people who, they have something like one night stand or they have friends with benefit. They get into a relationship, and the moment they break up, they soon get into another one for emotional support without completely healing themselves first, constantly needing that, emotional support from somebody, like because they cannot be alone by themselves, they cannot fulfill their own needs by themselves, and they have kids early while they're still in school, or they have kids without planning to have kids, and then after that they financially struggle to take care of their kids and take care of themselves. The reason why people they get into all those things is because they never thought about marriage or thought about their future. That's why when you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. And I was like, that's kind of true, because back then my type, like when I was in high school, it was just maybe just as long as okay, you tall, you taller than me, you at this specific height, you play sport, you a nerd, you good in school, you dress up a specific style, like that was my type, and I think that's like a typical type for most people, right?
Mhm.
And now I realize, oh yeah, you're right. I think you know the reason why we can easily get a crush on somebody is because we never really thought about the future that far ahead. So
Mhm.
we easily get attracted to the external things. And then my mentor, he told me this. He got married just last year, And not only he retired his parents, this is something that I really respect and look up, is he also on his way to retire his in-laws. And his in-laws actually are still not in America yet. And he right now he's getting ready. He's buying another house. So his family, they're already taken care of. So right now he's getting ready to buy another house for his in-laws. So when by the time they come to America, they have a house to stay. And his wife did not demand none of this. But he just said that because I loved my wife enough, I learned to love her loved ones. And for me, that's the standard. And after I hear that story, all of a sudden, now when someone give me a jacket or when someone pay for my meal or they open the door for me, I'm like, I'm not impressed. This is basic. But this is just to say that again, you don't have to think about those things that far ahead. But I think the moment when you develop your own standard for something, you know what you want, not just the general part. Oh, I want to have a family with 2 kids, somebody who will take care of me. When you're being super specific and detailed, when you have that, picture of what you want for yourself later, for your future later, then now whatever that you do, you will start questioning it, whether or not this thing will get me to have that later on. Because now I know I could be a nurse if I want to, or even right now in my job, if I decide to get into management, which I could make 6-figure income in my job. I don't need a business. I don't need passive income. But I just know that the higher I climb in the corporate ladder, the more responsibility I have. And for me, like I said, I want to make money, but I don't want 100K or 300K in my bank account if I go home and I don't have a good conversation with my mom at the dinner table, or I don't want to just be a nurse or be somebody that got a lot of respect in my career. But when I go home, when my mom or my dad needs me in the hospital or anytime when they need me, I can't show up because I gotta be at my work, then I don't want that 200 or 300K from the job. So it's just my standard. That's my value. And so when you start to know what you want like this and be specific, that's when you look around, you're gonna really start questioning everything that you do. Because a lot of people, they ask me, like, man, like, how come I never see you, like, going out, to have fun with us, like my classmates, or let's say my coworkers. They're always questioning, you never go out for team dinner, you never stay back for overtime, like, what happened? And I'm just like, hey, like, don't take it personal. I don't hate you guys or anything. It's just I got business to take care of. I got things I gotta do. And the reason why I can say no to people, to other things without feeling formal, is because I know that when I invest time in my business, I'm depositing that time for my family later, for my parents, for my own kids, my own family later on. And so you will see a lot of people, especially young people, they have a hard time to, like, resist temporary fun, or and like temptation, or stay consistent and focus on something for a long time. The reason is they don't know what they want. They don't have a goal, like a clear goal with a deadline. And so it's hard to stay disciplined or consistent or say no to the distraction if you, in your mind, you don't know, like, what is this going to get me to in the next 5-10 years. You see my point? And then same thing for personal growth, because I think in order for us to really be able to take care of our family, it's not just money. Because I've seen people, like doctors, or my cousin, he owns like a couple of businesses, like boba shops. He makes a lot of money, but he goes home, he doesn't know how to talk to his wife, so they eat dinner in silence. Because the moment they talk, they start fighting. And so, and you will see a lot of people, they go to school to take communication classes, they pass all their English writing classes with an Ace, but when they go apply for a job, they don't know how to talk to the interviewer. They don't have that confidence. The public speaking sucks. And so I think these things, the soft skills, that you don't learn those from school. That's why you see a lot of people, they may, pass calculus and statistics with, good grades. But the moment they go and plan for their goal, like, financial goal setting, budgeting, they don't have good budget. They don't have saving. So that's why for me, I don't put down school, but I personally believe these things, like the personal growth parts, the soft skills part, they're very, very important. They're not just for you to, I guess, like feel good, but these are like basic skills for you to have a happy life later. Because imagine, what's the point of passing your English class or your writing class with good grades, but later on you don't know how to clarify, you don't know how to speak up, you don't know how to communicate with your husband, and you guys just gonna give each other silent treatment in the house. It's like you guys are like roommates, but you guys don't understand each other. You don't know how to build deep connection. Or imagine, right now you get good grades in school, right? You like, good student, but then you don't know how to solve problems. You cannot handle multiple things in a day. Because let me ask you right now, besides school, is there any other thing that you do?
I back then I used to like sell stuff like on the side, like my own crafts and stuff. But then usually just stay home, hang out with my family, or hang out with my cousins and stuff. Basically, very much just hang out with my friends and family.
Um, but let me ask you this, Jen, really quick question. Right now, if I were to give you two balls to juggle with two hands, can you do that? Can you juggle them?
Like that.
Yeah, you probably can, right?
Uh-huh.
Because one ball for one hand. But imagine, if what if I give you another two balls? Now you have four balls to juggle. Do you think you're gonna drop any of them?
Yes.
Yes. But what about you started practicing how to juggle multiple balls a few years ago, like 5 years ago, and you've been doing it very consistently. It doesn't matter if you had a good or bad day, you always spend some time to practice. Do you think now you'd be better at juggling multiple balls?
Yes, because of the consistency of it. Practicing something in order to perfect it.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing for personal growth. And
Mm-hmm.
then the thing is, a lot of people, they don't realize it. So I see people, they start reading a book during their winter break, during their summer break, or they start to go to the gym like on the new year, right? Or they watch like a reel on Instagram or TikTok, and they feel motivated. But for me, that's very short lived, because
Mm-hmm.
personal growth is not overnight. It's something you do day in, day out, and doesn't matter how you feel, you do it regardless. It's similar as growing muscle. The first 8 reps won't grow nothing. It's the last 2 reps that you feel super tired, you feel super sore, but you decide to push against that resistance. That's when muscle grows. So the physical growth is similar to the mental growth. You don't do it when you feel good. You don't do it when you're free. You do it when you had a long day at work, you had a long day at school, you're super stressed out. But before you go to bed, you decide to push yourself to just read 30 minutes, to just listen to a 30-minute podcast and reflect and, ask yourself questions, thinking about, your future a little bit. That, for me, that's personal growth. That's how you grow your mental capacity, the ability to multitask and do multiple things. And here's the scary thing that a lot of people don't realize: the ball that I just asked you earlier, it actually represents responsibility that you have. And so if you didn't realize, every single 5 years on average, you have one more ball added to your life.
Mm-hmm.
For example, 0 to 5 years old, you just eat and sleep. But from 5 to 10, you eat, sleep, you go to school. 10 to 15, same thing. Some people start dating. 15 to 20, same thing. You start working a part-time job. 20 to 25, college and college student loan. 25 to 30, you get into a serious, committed relationship. You gotta save money for a wedding. 30 to 35, you get married, you settle down, you start having kids. Maybe now you don't think of owning a house. You can stay in an apartment. But the moment you have kids, you gotta think about house, right? Mortgage. 35 to 40 years old, your kids grow up, you gotta stay for their college tuition, like what our parents doing right now. 40 to 45, if your parents are still around, they don't work anymore. You gotta take care of them. Life goes on. But on average, every 5 years, you have one more thing added. And here's the thing, if you notice, there are people. Oops, I think my laptop is gonna die soon. Give me one moment. Shoot. Give me one moment. I'll be right back.
Jen,
Hmm?
she's finding her charger right now. So we can just talk.
It's so hot.
Hot? Really?
Yes.
Girl, I'm freezing.
Where are you at?
I'm at home. But I don't know why it's so cold in my room.
When are you going back on campus?
I think my first day of school is the 5th.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go back like 4th.
Fourth.
Yeah, we'll see. I brought a bunch of like clothes back from my dorm, so I don't want to do that on the first day of school. Everyone's gonna be like, "Why is this girl carrying her whole life,
Her whole personality back to SU.
It's embarrassing."
And are you? Are you busy on Sunday?
What day is Sunday?
The 4th.
That's the 4th.
Yeah.
I low-key thought today was Monday. Not gonna lie.
Today's sad. Today, where's today?
The 4th. I mean, besides moving in. So why did you want to do something? Oh wait, Van's back.
Hello. Sorry about that. I had to find my charger. It wasn't around. Yeah. But I think I was talking about what was that? The personal growth part, right? Uh yeah. So imagine if you look around you, I think you know some people. They are in their mid 20s. Could be your friends or cousins, I don't know. But there are people like they start working full time, and the moment they get out from their job, they're just so relieved. They're really relieved, and they just, they don't want to do anything. They don't have, that energy like now when you're in college. They don't need to go out late night, mobile, food or whatnot. All they want is just their bed. They barely have that energy to just make some dinner and go home, watch Netflix, and then sleep. And then they yearn for the weekend. They go party the weekend away, and now Monday start again. Repeat that whole cycle. looking forward to Friday, and then repeat that. And the reason why there are people like that, they get into something called a midlife crisis or a quarter life crisis, is because back when they were your age or my age, they did not stretch themselves. They only juggle one ball at a time, which is what? School, internship. Some people juggle two balls, school, relationship. Some people maybe they juggle three balls, school, internship, job, and then relationship. So people who stretch themselves and juggling multiple balls like that, later on, when life throws more balls at them, they can balance those balls. But the people you see right now in their early 20s when they're young, they only juggle one thing, which is school. Later on, those are the people who really struggle to manage life because they're not used to doing multiple things at a time. So now you see people, they go home from work and they get very easy to be irritated by, their kids or their wife or the husband, their mom, their dad, like those people, is because the job drains their energy. They can't go home, like all of the energy is gone. They don't have the patience anymore for their family. And this is something my mentor told me. He said, most of my friends, they flex with me by showing me how many Gucci or Dior bags they got for their wife. For me, that's cheap. I can always get that for my wife. The one thing I can do for my wife that most of my friends cannot do for theirs is I can sit there for hours listening to her venting to me. I don't have a problem with that. I have a lot of patience. Why? I don't get stressed out by no boss. I have all the time in the world to do that for my wife. And and a lot of people, if you think about it for a second, that's one of the biggest reasons why divorce happens. It's not because of cheating. It's not because of commitment or like loyalty issue, character issue. It's people, they don't know how to communicate with their they don't have the patience to teach their partner their love language. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to tell the other person how to love them the right way. But they have the expectation. And so when the expectation is not met, they, over time, they distance themselves. And that's how divorce happens. Not because of the cheating. Because if you know how to teach your life partner to love you and you know how to fulfill their love language as well, their needs as well, why would they go look for someone else? Right? And so all these things that I just mentioned, they all tied together, lead to something called happiness later on. And the reason why I'm not talking about business with you yet is because I think at the end of the day, business or nursing is not the end goal. It should not be the end goal. Because let's say you become a nurse and what's next? You go to work, clock in, clock out, you get to make impact, take care of people. But then what's next? Or let's say you open your own business. You make money. You control your time a little bit more than being an employee. But then what's next? Isn't it all come down to us living the life that we want? And how can we live the life we want if we don't even know how we want to live, right? If we're not specific with the lifestyle that we want to have. Because I see a lot of people, they just drifting through life right now. They say something like, I'm just going with the flow. When I ask them, what do you want for your future? They're like, I'm just going with the flow. And I'm like, okay. But even for the fish, the only fish that go with the flow is the dead fish, right? So I've seen so many people that just live in that mode of like the airplane mode, which is they go to college, they pick a major, they study so hard, and after that they go look for an internship, and after they graduate they go look for a full-time job, and they start working full-time, and they just live that typical 9 to 5 life. And I'm like why don't you stop and think for a second like how you really want to live? Because I think that's something that we've been programmed to think about, which is you gotta be good in school, you got to get a bachelor, you gotta go to work, find a good paying job. But then the question is, will that job really fulfill your needs? And if you look over here, what is your definition of success? You see, this is what we were raised growing up. This is what we were instilled in our head. You gotta pick as a kid. You want to be a firefighter. You want to be a doctor. You want an engineer. want to be therapist. Like we were conditioned to think about what we want to do, but not how we want to live. Yeah. And so um, I'm sharing all these things with you, not to put nursing down, not to put any job down. I think as long as you can make money and you take care of your family and you don't do anything illegal, you don't hurt nobody, I respect that because that's exactly what I do too. I'm just trying my best to take care of my family and really live the life that I want later on. And so I don't think business is the best choice. It's a bad choice for me for the lifestyle that I want to have. So I think after this, maybe you can take some time to think about that question I just asked you earlier, which is the lifestyle that you want 10, 15 years from now. And of course, it won't be something that you just sit there for 1 hour and you know exactly how you want to live. It will take some time, like I said, right? Because it's been like 18, 19 years that you never really thought about it, really growing up. Because when you say you want to live comfortable, you want to be able to take care of your family, you should ask yourself more questions, which is how do I want to take care of them? Do I want to just take them to Vietnam to travel, or do I want to take them to different countries as well? And how much it actually costs? Because when you say it costs a lot of money to travel to Vietnam, but if you're not clear with a number, it's hard for you to plan. There's no way you can plan for something if you don't have numbers in it, right? And also a deadline. Because if you just say, I want to take my mom and my grandma back to Vietnam to travel, is it 5 years from now or is it 10 years from now? Because if you say you want to take care of them, take them back to travel in the next 5 years, I don't think a nursing income is enough. Because an average nursing income when you just start out is about 50K, 50 to 60K. That's before tax. So after tax is about 35 to 40. So monthly is around 4K. 4K, you pay for rent, you pay for insurance, you pay for food, you pay for your basic necessity. I don't think you have money to travel. Yeah. So you see, when you start putting some numbers in the picture, you see that a job income is not enough, or the passion, the dream job, all of a sudden it's not a dream, a passion anymore. Because yes, I love nursing still. I love biology. And when I started my business, I didn't even like business. I never thought of owning a business. But the moment I heard about the lifestyle that my mentor has, I was like, well, I like that lifestyle. And I knew it's gonna be really out of my comfort zone to learn, about business because it's not my cup of tea. And I know for our generation, our common language is passion. We're gonna do something that we love. We're not gonna do something that we don't like, right? Going out of comfort zone. But I think the pain zone is the growth zone. We don't grow when we feel comfortable. And I ask myself too, yes, it's painful for me to learn something new. Like back then, believe it or not, 3, 4 years ago, I was a social awkward. I stuttered. I had a very low self-esteem about my English because I know I have an accent. And I didn't really have a lot of friends too because I thought people would judge me. Like, well, I didn't grow up in America. I don't have a favorite Disney movie. I never watched one growing up. So I was having a lot of overthinking, like, what if people start judging me just because I'm not American enough? That's why I closed myself off and I didn't have a lot of friends. But I had to push myself, get out of that bubble, and told myself, yes, it's painful to go start a conversation. It's painful to learn to work with people from different background, different personality, different ethnicity, and really get out from, my comfort zone. But those things are painful, but just seeing my parents keep going to work is more painful. Seeing them having to live in an old beat up ADU and never really own a house here is more painful. And me myself having to go to work and having told have to spend my 24 hours and not be able to go see my family when they need me, those are more painful than me going out of my comfort zone now. And so that's something that, again, I don't think you'll be willing to do what I was doing or still doing if you're not clear with what you want. Because I think for us, for humans, we only really push ourselves, get out from our comfort zone, only when we know if that's something worth for us to invest, to really make that sacrifice, right? And so, business wise, I think I can always sit down with you and explain it, show you how the business works. Very simple to do it, probably 30 minutes to explain that for you. But like I said, if you're not clear with what you want first, and you're only thinking about business as a tool to make income, then I don't think you can last long in not just my business specifically, but in any business. Because entrepreneurship, the difference between entrepreneurship and just being an employee is, for business owners, entrepreneurs, we don't get paid on hour. We don't get paid on the time we put in. Because for employee, you just need to clock in, clock out. Doesn't matter that day if you sold a lot of products or not. Let's say if you work in a restaurant or you work at a mobile place. Doesn't matter how many mobile you sell that day. Maybe your boss doesn't make any money because they don't have no customers, but you still got paid. You get paid for your hours. But as the boss, as a business owner, we don't get paid on our time. We get paid on our performance. So it takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of stamina, a lot of, you know, time and belief and faith in order for a business owner to be successful in their business. But again, there's a reason why somebody decide to be the business owner in the first place. Even though there are more challenges, the rewards are also bigger. They don't get control, but they get the control. And so again, that's something that you will have to think more about, because I think if I were to just explain the business for you before you start thinking about what you want first, then I don't think it will be beneficial for either of us. I don't mind to just, take more time to, I guess, talk to you and help you understand first about, yourself, what you want. And then after that, I think my goal is just really help you understand that and see how my business, this opportunity, can help you to achieve your goal. Yeah, but the meeting, I think it's been long already. I will let you go now. But after this, I think I can have Amy send you an audio. I'm not sure if you are somebody who listen to podcasts or you like podcasts at all.
Yeah, I like
You do?
it. So, yeah.
Okay. I can have Amy send you a short video. It's only about like maybe an hour. But I think the video will talk about similar things that we touched on today. But since it's an audio, you can, pause and stop and take notes. I recommend taking notes so you can reflect afterwards, to see what, resonates with you the most. But I think after that, we can maybe meet up again if you think this is something that you want to spend more time to learn more about, and we can meet up again. But for now, I think we can, call it a day, since it's already long. But before we end, do you have any questions for me or any thoughts you want to share at all?
I'd just like to thank you for your time, first of all, for taking out your time today to um, open up to this whole thing, because time is very important. Time is quote unquote money, is what people say. So I'm very thankful that you took the time out. And I think that talking to you today really did help me open up, because I have never really like seen it in the flesh, I guess, in a way of talking to somebody who is very passionate about it. Because yes, my family has been in business, but if we ever talk about were they passionate about it, I wouldn't say that they were. They just do it for the money or whatever, for what they want to do and stuff. So I'm very thankful that I got the time to listen to you talk to about this whole thing, and basically like just very thankful.
You're very welcome. I hope my talk helped. Uh, but yeah, you take some time to think a bit more about what we just talked about. Yeah, and I think the audio will help you as well. So maybe within this week, or let's see, whatever time that works best for both of us, we can find time to meet again. But for now, I'll let you go. I'll it's nice to meet you and get to know you today, by the way. I'm coming to Seattle soon, so hopefully we see each other in person. uh but I will let you go. Both of you guys know now I got something to do, but yeah, I'll see you another time. Okay.
Bye, man. Thank you.